Okay, it's now 10:05. I've waited for everybody to join. Good morning, my name is Sean. I am the IT and digital program lead here at GBS Apprenticeships. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about all of the different and various digital IT pathways that we do as part of our apprenticeship programs. So the first part that we're going to be looking at is what to expect as an apprentice in the IT and digital sectors. So first question really is, do you want to be at the center of technical innovation, finding digital solutions to real world problems? If the answer to that is yes, then you are probably on the right webinar at this moment in time. And hopefully as we go through it, you'll know a lot more about the different various options that are available to you within the IT and digital sector in the apprenticeship world. So apprenticeships are absolutely brilliant. Not only will you get hands-on experience whilst you are doing your training, but the bonus between apprenticeships and college and university is that you will also get a salary whilst you are getting your qualifications. And for higher apprenticeships, this will also mean that you do not pay any tuition fees. So an apprenticeship in the digital technology or IT solutions sectors could lead to a wide range of digital and tech roles. Some of those are on your screen at this moment in time, from games programming, web design, cyber risk management, IT consultancy, cybersecurity. The list goes on and on, really. We also do higher level apprenticeships, and they can include data analysts, social media and digital marketing executives, cyber intrusion analysts, software developers, and yes, there's lots more to go through. So once you have signed up to your digital apprenticeship, depending on what level it is that you're doing, and also which pathway that you choose, which qualification that you choose to do, this will also have varying lengths of time. So every apprenticeship within the IT and digital sector lasts between 1 and 2 years. Your apprenticeship might also include aspects of understanding about the business itself, regardless of what IT or digital pathway apprenticeship you choose. There will also be elements of programming and in some courses also web development. So you can learn, again, depending on which pathway that you choose, you can learn things from carrying out IT risk assessments, using modeling and database management systems, analysing software systems and how to improve them at your employer, picking the right technology solutions for your employer, day-to-day management of networks. The list really goes on and on, dependent on which qualification that you are interested in. So your employer and training provider, which is High 360 and GBS Apprenticeships, will determine how your work and study is arranged. So this may involve weekly sessions at our academy. It may also be that they're not weekly and they are bi-weekly or monthly. This will all depend on the actual apprenticeship that you choose to do. It could be that you are doing intensive blocks of study at the start of the program, and this gradually gets lower and lower the more time that you are on your program. We also incorporate online learning as well, so we do a combination of classroom delivery and also online learning. Alongside your main qualification, you may also be required to undertake specific professional qualifications that relate to your job. So an example of that would be if you decide to pick network engineer, which is a higher level 4 qualification within the IT sector, you would also most of the time be put onto professional qualifications such as CCNA by your employer. So these are running alongside of your apprenticeship. And the idea behind that is that you are getting the professional qualifications that match to your actual job, as well as your qualification from your apprenticeship. So at this moment in time, 2021, digital skills have never been higher in demand. BCS, who are a huge provider, EPAO within the sector, ran a survey at the back end of last year, which showed that business transformation and organisation change are a top priority for most sectors. And obviously, organisation change does include IT. We can't do anything this day and age without IT and digital involvement in it. So combining this with an opportunity for businesses to invest in new talent through apprenticeship levy, government funding and other financial incentives, you will obviously be earning whilst you are learning, and that gives you a big plus for choosing digital apprenticeships. Excuse me. So just move on to the next slide. So following on from that, with the quality and continuous improvement at the heart of all our apprenticeships, we never forget there are three of us in this relationship. So once you sign up to an apprenticeship, the relationship is a three-way relationship. That is GBS as your apprenticeship provider, that's your employer, and most importantly, it's also you, the apprentice. When we all work together, we work smarter in reaching our common goals, which is ultimately getting you qualified and getting all the experience that you need as part of your apprenticeship program. That's why we invest in systems, processes, and channels that bring everybody together to support our apprentices in fulfilling their learning potential. So what are the different types of things that this actually looks like? Well, we're dedicated to the continuous professional development of everybody that comes onto our apprenticeships and working with technology. So as you might expect, we offer an impressive support package for all of our digital apprentices, and this includes discounted access to Microsoft products through our Microsoft education licenses. Touching on that a little bit further, what that means is when you sign up for an apprenticeship with GBS, you will automatically get a Microsoft education account. What this enables you to do is to get Microsoft Office free of charge, and you can download and install that on up to 5 devices, again, all completely free of charge, which if you went into the likes of Currys and went to buy a Microsoft Office license, you would see that that is a huge saving. Not only that, you will get BCS student membership, which can link on to looking at a wider IT practitioner community. So everybody that has done qualifications with BCS, anybody that's done a digital or IT apprenticeship through ourselves, for example, also becomes BCS student memberships. This means that you are connected to lots and lots of people that are potentially with GBS as the training provider, but also with other training providers. Gives you the opportunity to share your knowledge together as a community. Within that as well, you do get exclusive development tools and resources that are made and created for BCS with the idea of improving your career depending on which pathway apprenticeship that you choose. All of our apprentices can also apply for a student discount card through GBS, and that gives you discounts on, as it says there on screen, all your favourite things. So especially this time of year, having a student discount card is great for when you're going out and doing your Christmas shopping. Most stores will have a percentage off of absolutely everything when you use your student discount card. And again, when you sign up, that is all linked into your welcome email and introduction that you get from your tutor. So right at the very end then, like I said earlier, depending on the apprenticeship that you pick to do, it could be that you are on it for 12 months, it could be only that you're on it 15 months, 18 months, 2 years, depending on which apprenticeship pathway it is that you pick. At the end of your apprenticeship, you will be upgraded for free to a full official accredited membership with BCS. So the AMBCS membership, which means accredited membership with BCS. You will also be able to go onto the RIT Tech Professional Register, which underlines that you are competent within the IT and digital industry. All of these credentials are used alongside your name. So an example for that, if some of you may or may not have been on LinkedIn, for example, and had a look at my profile, you will see that I've got lots and lots of letters after my name. What that means is that I am a member of BCS, I'm an accredited member of BCS, and I'm also part of the RIT Tech Professional Register. It is entirely up to you whether you put those initials at the end of your name. Some people do, some people don't. Obviously, anybody within our sector, which is the IT and digital sector, if you've got those at the end of your name on any type of platform, such as CVs or LinkedIn, for example, it just makes you stand out within the sector, because you can only be membership or on the professional register if you can prove your competence within the industry. Excuse me. So our in-house leading edge technology platform enables our employers to engage smoothly and efficiently with our apprenticeship process, while our fair and robust evaluation leaves them safe in the knowledge that all of our apprentices are becoming highly competent and a valuable asset to their actual teams. And that's regardless of what IT apprenticeship that you choose to do, or digital apprenticeship that you choose to do. Like I said earlier, it is a three-way relationship. And so we are heavily involved with your employer, we're heavily involved with yourself. The communication between us all generally works extremely well, and that only leads to getting the best out of you and for you as you progress through your apprenticeship and getting your qualifications. So all of our employers also know that they can trust GBS for the latest guidance on the apprenticeship levy and policy. So that's, again, it brings in the background for the employers. We facilitate regular opportunities for all of our employees and apprentices to come together with our internal team, our GBS team. We also have guest speakers from the government and policymakers such as BCS, City and Guilds to discuss apprenticeship strategies, how they're moving forward in the future, and how we can get involved with the creation of future agendas based around the IT and digital sector. So, like I said right at the very start, we do offer a comprehensive choice of standards within our sector, and these can go into quite a few different roles, like I mentioned on the first couple of slides. So the headline for those are roles in analytics, roles in hardware, networking and infrastructure, roles in digital marketing, roles in software development. Obviously, software development is a wide encompassing. Most of these are just headline ones. Within software development, you would have things like web development, web design, app creation, games programming, game design. There's software development is, like I say, it's the overarching title which is given, but your employer will take you down the path of whichever one is most relevant for your work. We also have apprenticeships in IT sales and also cybersecurity. So I'm now going to go through an overview of each of the digital apprenticeships that we offer here at GBS. Excuse me. So if you are an employer or a training provider that has had experience with digital apprenticeships, you will know that recently all of the apprenticeships within this sector were either made brand new or revised. Quite a few of those changes meant that there was more focus on the apprentice's actual duties. So what that means is that the apprenticeships are now more focused on what the apprentice should actually be doing as part of their day-to-day job. There is no longer any mandated knowledge modules or vendor qualifications. So for those of you that are watching this or that are on the call as I'm talking you through it live, knowledge modules are your syllabus. So as part of the syllabus, at the end of each knowledge module, what happened in the past was that you would then have to do an exam to clarify your competence and knowledge within that particular module. The exams are no longer part of the digital apprenticeships and also vendor qualifications. So like I mentioned right at the very start, where your employer could get you doing a professional qualification alongside your apprenticeship, like the Cisco CCNA, for example, they are no longer part of the apprenticeship. So regardless of whether you complete your CCNA or not, will not affect your digital apprenticeship whatsoever, as they are no longer connected. There's also been quite a few changes to the assessment methods, and that's where it comes right at the very end of your apprenticeship. And once you are signed up for your apprenticeship, your tutor and trainers will go through absolutely everything to do with you with regards to what to expect, what to look out for, and practice and prep for your assessment, which is right at the very end of your apprenticeship. So, like I said, we are going to now be looking at all of the different IT and digital standards which we offer here at GBS. So the first one is the IT Solutions Technician. This is for anybody that is going to be involved with the development, implementation of IT solutions within a company. So some key criteria, some key points on that are this program itself typically lasts 18 months. The EPA or endpoint assessment is 3 months long. So that is not included within that 18 months. So the apprenticeship itself will last for around 15 to 18 months. At the end of that, or once you have shown to your trainer that you are competent in all of the areas, you will then get put into what's called the endpoint assessment. So the endpoint assessment for this particular standard, the IT Solutions Technician, lasts for 3 months. You will find as I'm going through this, through all of the other standards, that it is generally 3 months for pretty much all of the IT and digital ones now. So I'll give you an overview of what EPA actually means, and then I'll just touch on it through all the other standards. So EPA, like I just said, is where you have shown to your tutor that you are competent within the areas, and you're then ready to progress on to the final stage of your apprenticeship. So the final stage of your apprenticeship is what's known as either gateway or endpoint assessment. As part of the endpoint assessment, you will be given a project on most IT and digital solutions. You will also have a summative portfolio, and that is evidence that you have been doing throughout your apprenticeship, which highlights your best pieces of work from your employer. And you will also have an interview with somebody from BCS or City and Guilds. And again, that is all based on your portfolio. So the evidence that you've collated over the time of your apprenticeship, so in this case, over the 18 months, will be used as a guide via the assessor in your interview, and they will question you on the types of things that you've been doing as part of your role. At the end of that, you will then sit back and relax, and you will get notification from ourselves, from GBS, with regards to the outcome of your apprenticeship and your qualification and certificate. So some key criteria for the IT Solutions Technician standard then, like I said before, it is where you're going to be looking at the support and development and implementation of any IT solutions. So that looks at the technical solutions using obviously both your logical and creative thinking. You'll be resolving issues from a technical IT basis. It could be that you are helping out on the IT help desk, as well as being involved with the infrastructure. Again, this will all depend on the actual workplace and the types of things that you do. The key criteria is there on screen for this particular standard. We then also have Digital Support Technician. Digital Support Technician is a fairly new standard. It's very popular within our IT and digital sector. At this moment in time, there's a lot of apprentices that we have at GBS that are on DST, or Digital Support Technician. What this one looks at is the growing need of businesses to know about digital applications, digital technologies. Really got brought to life with the global COVID pandemic, where lots and lots of companies were suddenly having to work in the cloud, for example. So the use of Office 365, of Amazon AWS, of Google Drive, all of those things, but being incorporated into a business standard, is what brought to light this actual standard within the IT and digital sector. So individuals that have the skills to support and implement digital technologies are obviously in huge demand because of this, and lots of companies are crying out for digital support technicians. So a digital support technician, as you can see there is 2 pathways to choose on this particular standard. So you could be supporting the applications, or you could be doing the digital service. So that again will ultimately depend on your employer and the job role that you are going to be doing as part of your apprenticeship. But both pathways look at each other as well. So if you went down the digital applications route, you, as well as focusing on the digital applications and supporting them, you would also know about the background stuff, which is the servicing of it, the implementing of it, the infrastructure of it, and vice versa. So yeah, you will know about obviously the digital office technologies, any type of collaboration tool. So that's your cloud technologies. So things like your Dropbox, your AWS, your Google Drive, all of those things, and bringing them into a office environment and a business environment. It does focus a lot on new technology. So if anybody that is watching this or that is live at this moment in time, if you are a geeky nerd like myself and you're into new technology and gadgets, then this is definitely the apprenticeship for you, as there is a very, very high focus on brand new emerging technologies. So this particular apprenticeship is constantly updated by ourselves and by our trainers, in the sense of, because we are looking at brand new technologies and how they are going to be implemented. So things like AI, IoT. For those of you that are not aware of those acronyms, AI is artificial intelligence. IoT is the Internet of Things. Those two areas in particular are absolutely massive within the IT sector at this moment in time. They are touched on in quite a few of the new standards, but with the digital support technician standard being at the forefront of technology and learning about emerging technologies, we look at it in quite a little bit of detail on this particular standard. So next up, we have the Information Communications Technician Standard. So IT technicians are obviously the backbone of any digital support. So any company out there will have IT support or ICT technicians, depending on how it's worded within the actual company that you're going to be placed at. Obviously, every single sector, not just IT and digital sectors, has computers. There's no getting around it this day and age. Because of computers, most companies will have already in place a IT support team. For those that don't, or that need new fresh talent coming in, your information communication technician standard is ideal for that. So when you are on this program, you will be looking at the providing technical support to both internal and external customers, diagnosing IT problems and faults, installing configuration software and hardware. You will also touch on the networking side of things, so the infrastructure, network topologies, server connections, and things like that as part of this standard. So if your mindset is more on that you are wanting to be supporting people within their roles, diagnosing things, more IT support, more IT help desk, Information Communication Technician is the standard for you. Again, there are two pathways to choose from once you are on this standard, and they are support technician. There's three pathways. So it's support technician, network technician, or digital communications technician. So the digital communications technician looks at everything from the digital support technician standard, but also encompasses all of the things to do with ICT problems and faults, configuring the hardware and the software, which is not really that much of an element within the DST. So if you are looking at more of a IT support role that encompasses absolutely everything rather than just the digital solutions, then your information communications technician would be the right standard for you. And again, you'll notice in the key information section on the right-hand side, EPA for the ICT standard is actually 4 months long as opposed to 3 months long. So you will be on it for 4 to 5 weeks longer than you would your DST, but ultimately the same thing happens. You do a project, you do your interview, and you also have your summative portfolio, which is the evidence that you've gathered throughout your time with your employer that you've been on your apprenticeship program. So then move on to probably our most popular apprenticeship standard, and that is software development technician. So a software development technician, regardless of what type of company that you're at, is there to write the code, do the logic, look at database layers, create the websites, work on the websites, edit the websites. Depending on your employer, you could be at a games development company and you'd be getting involved with writing the code for the game development, for example. Because of this, software development technicians need to be able to read and analyze the various different languages that are used throughout businesses to match and meet business and also, depending on your role, customer requirements. So as part of your software development technician standard, you will learn how to build simple software components. You will learn how to interpret software design requirements. You will learn about software testing. You will learn about maintaining the project and documentation. Overarching over all of that, you will learn programming languages. So if you are into coding, or you'd want to be involved in things like app creation, app design, games design, web design, all of those things all come under the software development technician standard. And you will learn, as part of the syllabus, you will learn multiple languages, and you will also learn the in-house languages which are used at your software development company that you've been placed at. So by the end of your apprenticeship, you could potentially be on your way to being fluent in 3 to 5 programming languages, depending on what it is that you are that you're doing in your day-to-day job. So again, typically this particular standard would last 18 months. And on top of that, you've got your 3 months EPA right at the very end. So the software development technician is at a level 3 standard. So that's for those of you that are wanting to get into the industry in software development. You want to take your first steps into it. You might not have done any kind of formal programming before. You might not have any formal programming qualifications, but you are very, very interested in learning about it and getting onto the ladder. So that's where you would start in software development technician, and then you'd move on to the higher apprenticeship standard, which is the software developer. Also, if you've already got some experience within software development, you could potentially, depending on the experience that you've got and also qualifications, you could come straight in onto the higher apprenticeship standard of software developer. So excuse me, it touches on absolutely everything from software development technician, but takes it on to the next level. So within the software developer, you will be expected to already know quite a few languages, or at least one language fluently. And you are looking at more on developing the code, testing the code, looking at your front end logic, looking at your different various database layers. Focus a lot more heavily on the software lifecycle and the different aspects that come around software development. Once you are qualified, or as you are working to get qualified as a software developer, you will also obviously need to know and interpret the various codes and languages that are there. So you will, like I said at the start, you will be expected to know potentially at least one language fluently. And then depending on where you are based, you will also be picking up and learning languages as you're going along. So even though this is a higher apprenticeship, you will still be learning the languages, the different various coding languages that are used within your workplace. So the key criteria for software developer then is that you are going to be interpreting the design specifications. You'll be taking that forward and developing that through your SDLC, which is your software development lifecycle, looking at all the research that comes behind it, looking at all the different various development aspects, who's going to be involved in the teams, who's not going to be involved in the teams. We focus a lot more heavily on the full software development lifecycle within the software developer program. As you can see, it is longer than the software development technician, and that is because it's a higher apprenticeship standard, like I mentioned right at the very start. This particular one is normally around 24 months long, and your endpoint assessment lasts for 6 months. And that is just because it's a higher apprenticeship standard. So the level of qualification is higher. Hence why there's a longer time on program and your EPA is longer, because in EPA, your projects are longer, your interviews longer, your portfolio is expected to be a lot more in-depth as well, because you're doing a higher apprenticeship standard. Excuse me. So a fairly new one that we also have is digital community manager. So a digital community manager is somebody that is going to be in an organization that needs to engage with customers and end users, predominantly online, hence the name digital community. So the digital community manager would be the face of the company when it comes to interactions and communications with customers, internal and external clients. This is for companies that do pretty much all of their communicating in the online community. So it's where users and customers interact with each other. Communities can be formed over time or instantly with relevant content. So it could be that you are going into a company that has been doing this for a while, or it could be that you're going into a company who is moving on to this, again, off the back of the global COVID pandemic. Lots and lots of companies are now moving into digital. So this is a brand new apprenticeship standard, which has come from the back of that. So the types of things that you'll be learning as you are on this particular standard is the management of online media channels. So that could be when you're on a website and you have the live chat, you could be looking at the management and development of that live chat. You could also be on things like social media, so Insta, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, being involved with the communications that go out and come in on all of those different various software platforms. You'll obviously be updating and responding to any questions that come into the company. You'll be delivering on the information and giving your ideas to the wider company. This particular program is, again, 24 months long because it is a higher apprenticeship standard, and your endpoint assessment within this one is 3 months long. So next up, we have Data Analyst. The Data Analyst is a level 4 apprenticeship, again, a higher apprenticeship standard. This is for anyone that is looking to enhance their data analysis skills or progress on from a suitable level 3 award. So it could be that you have done the data technician, which is the level 3 equivalent of data analyst. It could be that you've done any one of the other ones that I've spoke about before and you're wanting to move into the data analyst sector. So it could be that you have been on the ICT standard or the DST standard, where we do touch on data analytics, but you want to take your career down the data analytics path. So you will learn more about data analytics, looking at deeper analytical methods, looking at all the different various recognized statistical methods that we use within this sector as well. So such things like forecasting, modeling, looking at machine learning, getting involved with AI, getting involved with IoT in a lot more detail because you are looking at the analytics side of things. So a key area that you get involved in normally when you are doing a data analytics standard is producing things like dashboards, which report the visualization for the companies that you're working at. So rather than people having to use spreadsheets and getting all the information from that, you're looking at the new ways of doing things. So using dashboards where everybody clicks onto a live dashboard. It could be like it's on a screen behind reception as you walk into the building, and all of your data is on screen for everybody to see. You'd look at the ways that you pull that data in, where you get that data from. You would be identifying and analyzing all the different trends and patterns that are in the data set of the company, and then drawing up the statistics for it. So doing all of the reporting based around it. Again, because this is a higher apprenticeship standard, it's 24 months long, and your endpoint assessment is again 3 months. So moving on to another sector, as you can see, there's lots and lots of different sectors that are involved within our IT and digital umbrella. The next one is network engineer. So network engineer is again a higher apprenticeship standard. This is at level 4, and it looks at increasing your knowledge that you've already got from level 3. So it could be again that you have done a DST or ICT standard. Network engineer is solely for those people that want to be involved with the networking. So forgetting about your digital support, forgetting about your application support, you are solely wanting to be involved with the cables, with the networking, with the infrastructure, investigating, diagnosing, repairing all of your network issues. So that could be physical network issues. It could also be virtual infrastructure implementations. So you would be helping customers with technical and non-technical aspects. You could also be out digging the ground up and installing cables for fiber, for example, maintaining your networking solutions, installing, configuring and testing your network components. So if you are interested in networking specifically, this is a very, very good standard for you. Again, because it's a higher apprenticeship standard. The length on program is typically around 2 years, so 24 months, and your endpoint assessment will last 3 months. So as I mentioned at the start, and as I have been mentioning for quite a few times, digital technologies are right at the forefront now, regardless of what sector that a company is working in. One of the big trends alongside artificial intelligence and Internet of Things is also cybersecurity. So I'm sure that everybody that's watching this or is on it live with me right now has heard the word cybersecurity before. Probably the first thing that springs to anybody's mind when it comes to cybersecurity is viruses or hackers. We do look at a lot of that within this course. So as a cybersecurity technician, you are the first line support in stopping any cybersecurity threats. So it would be your job to detect those threats, to prevent them, to know what you're looking out for, how to monitor them across the company and businesses that you will be working for throughout your apprenticeship. So you'll be conducting specific tasks which will be designed to defend and protect the internal systems of that company. You'd be looking at supporting an effective security culture within the business, maintaining records, compliance, access rights. You may also get involved with actually training members of staff on cybersecurity. So cybersecurity can go from anything from passwords all the way through to stopping Trojan attacks and getting involved with malware, defense solutions. So that will obviously need communicating out as well. And as part of your cybersecurity technician role, you will be expected to pass your knowledge on to various members within the organizations and companies that you're going to be placed at. So as part of the apprenticeship, you will learn all about all of the various cybersecurity threats that are out there, how to monitor them, how to detect them, and ultimately how to prevent all of the attacks from happening, and putting systems in place to help the company that you work for be as safe and secure as possible. So although this is a level 3 standard, as you can see there, the timescale is a little bit longer than the 12 months of most level 3s. It's an 18-month program, and that is because there is a lot to learn within cybersecurity. But if you are interested and passionate about cybersecurity, about knowing how to do the things that, although it is glamorized a lot on TV and in movies, learning how to do all the coding and things like that to protect and stop hacking from happening, then this is definitely the course for you. You'd be kind of classed as an unsung superhero within most companies as a cybersecurity technician, as you are the first point of defense. So any types of cyber threats that come in, it's your job and your role, and you'll learn how to do it as part of the apprenticeship, how to implement the security processes and control everything that happens within the company with regards to cyber protection. So that's quite a few of our standards. Obviously, if I was to talk about every single one that we do, this webinar would be on for pretty much all day, because we do deliver a hell of a lot of IT and digital standards. We've also had a separate webinar on our digital marketing standards that we deliver. So if you would like any more information whatsoever, please get in touch with us. Our website is on the screen at this moment in time. Go onto our website. We've got a link on there for the standards that we deliver, and you'll see the big full list. But ultimately, give us a call. All our numbers and email addresses are on that website as well. Get in touch and we'll be able to talk you through the ones that you're interested in a lot more detail, as opposed to just the overview that I've gone through today. So that is the standards, but how do we also deliver those standards? So how we do it at GBS Apprenticeships, all of our standards are delivered to our students, as I said right at the very start, both in the academy and remote. So it's kind of a hybrid way of working. If you are local to our academy, we will be delivering in the academy. If you're not local, you'll be able to join in with the students that are in the academy. So you technically be like you are sat there, although your face will be on the back of a screen, or on the front of a screen, sorry. You will be able to see and interact with everybody else within the classroom based on the infrastructure and the technology that we've got in our specific IT digital classroom within the academy. All of our course content is designed by our IT trainers. Our IT trainers are all professional members of BCS, of the RTEC register. We have all got extreme, not extreme is probably not the right word. We have all got a very, very good in-depth knowledge of the areas that we are teaching in. So we are a certified Cisco networking academy. We are also certified BCS training academy, CompTIA academy, various others. Our lead IT trainer is also a certified Cisco instructor. As you can see on screen, a Nearpod certified instructor, a Nearpod distance learning expert, certified instructor with various Microsoft products, including being a Microsoft innovative educator, and also with things like Kahoot and Flipgrid, which we use as part of our digital standards to go along with you creating your work as you're doing the standard itself. So all of our digital standards are delivered using the BCS syllabus. So BCS are, for those of you that don't know, they are the Chartered Institute for IT, British Computer Society. So you are getting syllabuses from the experts that are out there. So if you are looking at apprenticeships, and you may also be looking at college courses, university courses, BCS standard and syllabuses are used throughout apprenticeships, colleges, and also universities. So you are getting it from one of the top players within the IT and digital industry. So like I said before, we do have accredited academy status. We are an accredited BCS training partner. We are also a Cisco networking academy, as we have 2 certified Cisco instructors. For those of you that are interested in networking or any types of technology whatsoever, you will know Cisco. Cisco is probably the biggest name out there in networking in particular, but also in new technologies like IoT, cybersecurity, all of those different types of things. We are also a authorized training academy with CompTIA. Again, CompTIA is another qualifications provider, and we are a registered and authorized academy to deliver their qualifications as well. And we are now also a official Kahoot academy. So Kahoot is another interactive system that we use on quite a few of our digital and IT systems. And because of this, we have now got Kahoot Academy status to use as part of our digital and IT solutions. So we deliver, depending on the course that you are doing, we do use quite a lot of different delivery materials as part of IT. This obviously will get you used to the changing world of IT, so we're not focusing on one particular thing. Some of those icons on there you will recognize, others you may not have seen before. So we use all Microsoft products because obviously all of our students get the Microsoft education package, which means that you can communicate with your tutors if you're wanting to on a daily basis via Teams. So Teams will enable you to have direct contact with your trainer via direct messaging. You can also speak to the other students that are in your class on Teams as well, and that gives you that collaborative environment where you can all talk and chat together and run through different various ideas, which could be helping each other out on your assignments and things like that. We use Zoom, we use Flipgrid, we use Nearpod. So for those of you that don't know, I touched on it a little bit a couple of slides ago with stating that we do have a certified Nearpod educator within GBS. So what that means is that, so I'll quickly touch on what Nearpod is. So Nearpod is, the easiest way to explain it is that it is PowerPoint on steroids. So it enables you to do a lot more interactive things with students that PowerPoint just can't do. So particularly because we do deliver all of our IT and digital standards in a hybrid format, where we will have some students in the classroom and other students at the same time being logged on remotely. Nearpod means that everybody can interact together, and it's a really, really good way of doing it. If you are looking at the software development standards, You will also be heavily involved with Code Combat and Repel It. So these are different methods, more interactive methods that we use to learn the various different programming languages that we do. We're also an accredited provider of ECDL and now ICDL, as they are in the process of changing their names to International Computer Driving License, as opposed to European Computer Driving License. That's one of the qualifications that we deliver alongside all of the different various comp tier ones outside of apprenticeships. As I said before, we're a Cisco networking academy, and we also use Kahoot throughout our IT and digital standards. So I just wanted to touch on the fact that all of our students get a Microsoft Education license. What this means that you get your own GBS email, you get your own GBS Microsoft account. You can use that account from the minute that you sign up for your apprenticeship right until the very end. So if your apprenticeship is 12 months, 15 months, 18 months, 24 months long, you will get access to everything to do with a Microsoft 365 education license on that. Like I said before, that will give you access to OneNote, Excel, Word, PowerPoint. So you'll be able to log on and do all of your work for your apprenticeship, and it will all be stored locally on your GBS OneDrive, which means that it's very, very good for if you're doing work in the office or you're coming into the academy. It's just that one login, and that gets you onto everything. An added benefit of that as well is that you can also install it, download and install Microsoft Office on 5 devices absolutely free of charge. So if you have got computers at home, you might not have Office. By signing up for your apprenticeship, you do get Office, and you can use it in your free time as well as using it for your work. So that was an overview of our IT and digital standards and the various pathways that are open to you. Like I said before, if you do have any questions or you want to know more about the specific standards, please jump onto our website. The address is in the bottom left-hand corner. Have a look through all the various standards. Ultimately, drop us an email, give us a call, and you will be spoken to by the relevant person who knows the standards inside out, depending on which one that you are looking at. For those of you that are live on the call at this moment in time, do you have any questions? No, brilliant. Okay, so I'd just like to say thank you again to those of you that are on the live call. Thank you to those that are watching this via all of the social media channels. And like I said before, please get in touch if you do require any more information. Thank you very much.